Okay. Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to the Dice Tower Live Q&A. Today is September 10th, 2018. I am now 42 years old as of Saturday. Had a good weekend. Went down to the Keys to eat seafood because that's the mark of a good birthday meal. Went to a new restaurant I've not been to before called the Lazy Lobster, which was incredibly good, and I will try to go there again at some point. This is a short week for me because we're flying to Iceland at the end of it. I guess that makes it a long week, but there's a lot of things to get done before then. Got some games that we'll be reviewing. I always find it interesting, because I think I'm the only reviewer, one of the only reviewers that will review the heavier Euro games and then review the Very Hungry Caterpillar Spin and Seek ABC game. It's just interesting to see, the games that we do back and forth. I try to, squeeze in kids' games because I think they're important to review, and so very few people review them. So anywho, I'm going to be answering your questions. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. And I don't answer every question, obviously. I especially am not in the mood to answer it if you ask them multiple times, but I'll try to get to as many of them as I possibly can. Someone already asked if it's the 42nd anniversary edition of Cosmic Encounter better or worse than the 2008 printing of the game. I don't know because I haven't actually seen it. I saw briefly parts of it at Gen Con, and then that's about the extent of it. I'm so happy with my Cosmic Encounter copy that I didn't even consider upgrading. The one new thing they added, the Demon Alien, I already had a copy of that, although I don't remember if that's one of the ones I kept. To fit everything in a box, I had to cut like 40 aliens, so I cut that many. I mean, no one's missing them, and I wonder if the Demon was one of the ones I cut. I don't know. Did Sam or Z play Between Two Castles? They did not. I don't think Sam would have enjoyed it, and I don't know where Z would have fit on it. Neither one of them was like dying on Between Two Cities, and it's essentially the same game with different scoring. Have I played the Arkham Horror LCG? I played it once with Z. I think we did it live. It's okay. I just don't see any reason why for me personally, would want to play that over, say, Mansions of Madness. Where did the large pink die come from? It looks unique. It's like a rubbery die. It's a bouncing die here. It's foam. I really like it. It's a nice... I wanted some big dice for purposes of, rolling big dice at a convention or something like that. And so I was able to get these for a fairly inexpensive price. I got it off Amazon. So I have a pink, green, orange, and yellow one, all fluorescent colored. I wish I could get these exact same dice in black and white and such. Maybe I'll find them at some point. When will the People's Choice Top 100 come up on the site? It was mentioned on Breakfast, but it isn't there yet. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure it's there. So if you go there to Board Game Top 10 and 100, click on Vote Top 100. Yeah, that's where you do it. Sorry, I guess maybe it's confusing because the 2018's there. That just means it's 2018 voting, that's all. All right. What are some of the plans for Dice Tower West? Open gaming! Other than that, still working on the exact plans, but you'll see things very similar to Dice Tower Con on a lower scale. I would compare it very similarly to Dice Tower Con 2. Don't forget, if you want to come to Dice Tower West and you still have not yet got a ticket, they will be going on sale tomorrow, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, or Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. When will you close the Best Games 2008 Top 10s for yourself and the people? For yourself? You mean for the people? Well, I'll close when I want to. It is really the extent of where that is at this point in time. I don't know exactly when we'll close it, so if you're like delaying, just do it now, right? Do it now. If I tell people like an exact date, they'll say, well, we'll wait to that date to vote then. When will the Best of All Time be up? When we're done with it. I'm done with mine. Let's see here. Do you know when the top 10 list for Dice worker placement games will be posted? At some point. I'll probably do one of those at some point. Any information on how different each of the Keyforge decks will be? It seems crazy that they claim that all the decks will be different. I don't think that that's that crazy. I mean, remember, there are 60 different combinations of the different factions in the game. So there's 60 basic combo decks, right? Those are all going to feel different. And then each of those, let's say there was like 3 main ways that each of these are played. Each of those decks are played. Well, then you have 60. Oh, so right now there's 7 factions, so that would be 21 times 20 times 19, then divided by 3. That's a huge number, and that's just basic ways that they'll be different. And then they can even make them just a few cards that are going to be different from deck to deck. I'm curious. I'm sure we'll eventually say, hey, look, these 2 decks are really similar, but for the most part, your decks are going to be different than other people's. News on the Project Elite Kickstarter, I think you'd have to go to Cool Stuff to find that out. Or Cool Mini, I'm sorry, Cool Mini. Any recommendations for a group that loves Cosmic and games like Time Stories? I would get Seventh Continent. Hello, Tom, says Wesley. I'm an aspiring game designer and college student. I've looked at your top 10 videos related to game design and got some really great advice from you all. Well, it's very nice of you to say thank you. Are there any plans of a 24-hour marathon this year? Yes, it's going to be, our tentative plans right now are to run it in November. So that's only a couple months away. When and where is Dice Tower West? Oh, well, fortunately, there's DicetowerWest.com, which is a website that tells you all that, but it's in Las Vegas, Nevada. When is the Dice Tower's next live playthrough going to be? Soon? I mean, I might do one this week. It all depends. It all depends on how we fit things in the schedule. It's more important that we get the reviews up. But we're working on live and trying to make it a bigger, more crucial part of our channel. Fallout 76, I'm not a big fan of the Fallout series. I think it's okay. I like the fantasy stuff. I'm looking much more forward to the next Skyrim or whatever it might be. Are you planning to do Dice Tower events in Asia? I'm not planning to do any in Asia. I'm not saying that will never happen, but to do anything overseas is very, very difficult. What do you think about all the games that play off nostalgia? Well, I guess that would be something that people would really like, I guess. What do you think about the brass games, says someone for the second time. I have not played the new one, so I cannot speak for them. Whew, I've caught up on questions already? I am fast. Or is there that few people watching? Remember, if you're curious what I think about a specific game, you can look and see, is there a review of that game? And then I give you my exact opinion in that. And if I haven't done a review, I will either be doing a review or not. But either way, if I do have thoughts on the game, I will say them at some point. I won't keep them to myself. All right, let's see what else is happening here. Best Robinson Crusoe scenario? I don't know. The King Kong one? I like that one, but I don't know which one's the best. All right, well, while we're waiting for questions to be asked, let's see. Well, here's I'll talk about this for a while. We need to get a Nashville board game conference. There's a few board gamers out there. Then start one. I mean, really, there's a lot of conventions. There's a ton of conventions. We can't have a convention everywhere. We're going to do one at a time. There are a ton of work to be involved and do things for these conventions. Really is a lot going on in them. Will you be at Essen this year? Yes, if you go to our website, there's a link there for all the conventions that we will be at, and it will tell you who's going to be at which convention. Is a live show a possibility for Dice Tower West? Oh yeah, we'll be doing a live show there. Are you fluent in Korean? I am not. I'm not fluent in any language, even English, I've been told. As to what we're doing at any particular convention, we will post the schedules of us doing them as we get closer. For example, I don't have an Essen schedule or even thought about an Essen schedule. Right now, all I'm thinking about is the convention this week in Iceland. Once we get back from that, Essen is the next on the docket, and PAX Unplugged is right behind that, and the Dice Tower retreats. So we have a lot of things that we're working on, and the cruise. I'm commuting to work and stuck in traffic. Any fun games to do solo while driving? I would never recommend you play a board game while driving. Let's see. Game library building was an interesting segment. Do you plan to keep the games in the same boxes coming to and from retreat? Yes. So I was talking to Kenny about this morning. We'll have a card inside each box that tells you the games that are in that box. That way when we're packing them up, you'll say, oh, these are the games that go in this box. Kenny's the one packing them all. We have a Board Game Geek username. I want to say it's DTHQ Library, but I'm not sure. Well, you'll be able to go on and look at the different games that the library has. You can see the collection that will be there. Although Board Game Geek is down right now. Oh, yeah. Well, the reason I'm wearing a different shirt here is because I can fit in some of my older shirts now. Actually, this one was given to me this year, but I realized that I can start wearing some of my other shirts because I'm now thin enough to wear a few of them. So let's hope that trend continues. Although I'll have to work off this weekend. I've still been walking 10,000 steps a day. Some of you know this because you're on my Pacer group. Pacer's really good for keeping me active in that. There are a few days where I walk 10,030 steps, but I have not missed a day since I've started doing it, 10,000. But sometimes I walk more than that. Like Saturday, I walked, I think, 17, 18,000 or whatever. And I'm trying to do that, but I did eat a little more than I normally eat over the weekend because it was my birthday, and I'll eat if I want to. Does Board Game Geek being down have any influence on your work right now? It definitely influences us when Board Game Geek is down. For example, I was going to work on my look back video today where I go back in time and take a look at games that I've played and ranked, and then how my ratings have changed. Well, I can't do that because I don't remember what my ratings for those games are. I have some of it written down in another spot, but most of it's on Board Game Geek, so I just have to wait for them to come back up. So yeah, it does affect us. Research for games, looking for something about a game. Have you done any research on what Iceland is like? I imagine it'll be a slight drop in temperatures. Yeah, but we travel up north enough now that I know enough to bring a coat. Have you ever considered doing a top 10 for best games for little kids, 4 and under? Are you looking at my schedule for this week? I feel like you are. Would you want to play a game like Imperial Assault, but only set in a Twilight Imperium universe? That sounds interesting. I think so. That sounds cool. I understand the number of conventions makes it hard, but it seems strange to go from the full cast of characters at Origins this year to 0 next. You will be missed. Sure. One of the big reasons is the expense of conventions is extremely high, and also Origins just was in a bad time of year. It's 2 weeks before Dice Tower Con, and it's 2 weeks after the UK Games Expo, which we have not agreed to go to that one either. I'm considering going to UK Games Expo, but we'll have to wait and see. How's Melody doing at college? She seems to be doing well. Apparently her nickname is Board Game Queen, is what she told me. Were you just whistling the theme from Ultima? I don't know what I was whistling. I don't think it was Ultima. I don't normally whistle that theme song. Do you still have the cool shirt with the lion? Oh, I don't know. Probably not. I got rid of a lot of my t-shirts. T-shirts seem to multiply. Anytime I'm at a store and I think about buying a t-shirt, I don't, because there's so many t-shirts in existence. What do you think of Z's target system for reviews? I'm sure it works very well for him. Would you consider using it for your reviews? No, I have my own style. I like doing it the way I do it. Is there a place in the website that has upcoming games you plan on reviewing? No. And we found that this is a generally bad idea. There are some games that I get that I'm planning to review, and I'll let people know that I'm going to be planning to review this game, and then we don't get it reviewed at any time soon. So, like, for example, over there on the shelf, there are 4 games I'm looking at right now that I've been sitting there for a couple months. I wanted to review them, but I feel like I didn't play them enough, and then I got to go back and play them some more to review them, but I didn't really like them that much to begin with, so it's hard to get them to the table. And if we let it be slip that we're going to be reviewing those, then people are like, why haven't you reviewed this yet? 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 And it gets kind of monotonous to hear that. So we don't really announce when we're going to review games. CMON Expo 2019 is not a convention list. Are we not going to that one? I'm not planning to go to that one right now. Like I said, we're really trying to pull back. We also want to do some more of our own Dice Tower retreats and conventions like that. Do you often have people ask you to identify game titles by description? Yeah, it happens occasionally. I'm not always able to do it, but sometimes I am. Let's see here. Are you no longer streaming on Twitch? Well, we plan to do a little bit more testing on Twitch. We've been meeting about streaming on Twitch, and so far, general consensus is that our audience would prefer us to stream on YouTube. There's a few people who are diehard Twitch streamers, but we're not sure yet. We haven't decided to do anything either way fully yet. I know I want to do more streaming in general, but we haven't decided. If Board Game Geek is such an essential tool, why do members of Dice Tower like Z not support this company? Kudos to you and Sam for your support. Well, first of all, that's kind of a misnomer, and I would like to clear that up right now. First of all, I think that's kind of rude, what you said there. I don't think you know who supports it. For example, my supporter badge at Board Game Geek, for all you know, I give them $1. I might not. Secondly, I feel very confident that we talk about Board Game Geek all the time in our videos. We are constantly putting reviews and content on Board Game Geek, and we are most certainly supporting them that way. And we've been supporting Board Game Geek in that fashion for almost 2 decades now, where we have been promoting them and talking about them. And that is a way of supporting the website. And some people also donate to the thing and don't have a donor badge underneath their name. So you can be very cautious to look at someone else and say, how come you're not donating to that? And maybe they're donating to something else. Like, for example, a person asked the question, how often do you use Wikipedia? Do you donate to that? There's a lot of things we use all the time that we do not donate towards. We have to be very cautious about calling someone else out on it. I feel that's really rude. All right, let's see. Has your wife always been okay with you playing games even back before it was your job? Sure. I have a wife and kids also, and I'll be happy if I'm able to get a game once a week without getting a look. That's up to you and your family. My wife has, the main reason I got into games in the first place was so I could do some gaming with my wife. I would not play Summoner Wars with 4 players. You can do it, and I've heard people say it's great, but to me it's a 2-player game. On the cruise, do people play more short, quick games or settle in for a bit longer, crunchy game? They do both. Is Sam actually the only person you know who likes Tannhauser? I don't think he's the only person, and I don't think it's like Sam likes it and everyone else dislikes it. No, I just think the game kind of came and went. I found it way too light for my purposes. I thought it was okay, it was a fine game, but I didn't get like hooked in it. But then again, I like HeroScape, so what do I know? Do I have a shot at visiting the next retreat even if I didn't get in the last time? Oh, sure. We'll certainly announce them as we do more of them. Do you have a rough estimate when tickets will go on sale for next year's Dice Tower Con? No, I know exactly when they'll go on sale. It's October 17th, which is a little more than a month away. Hi, Tom. If I remember correctly, you said you were going to attend a board game camping in Poland. Well, that was going to be this week, actually, and that completely fell through and did not happen. So it's unfortunate, but it didn't happen. What do you all plan for the Dice Tower retreats? Oh, well, we've been announcing what we're planning to do for the Dice Tower retreats on the Dice Tower retreat Facebook pages. So if you're want to be involved, if you're coming to Dice Tower retreat, let us, and you're not on one of those Facebook pages, let us know. Do you have a release date for Good Critters? It should be coming out soon. Do you disagree with Kickstarter's requiring optional buys for stretch goal content? I don't actually understand that question. Like, you mean you need to buy an extra thing in it to get some of the stretch goals? I think it's weird. I don't really like it, I guess, that much, but it is what it is. Remember, and see, I guess I don't understand the mindset of people, and I really, if I can go back in time and slap the people who invented stretch goals and all that stuff, but I guess people are talking about Starcadia Quest, I'm assuming. So when I backed Starcadia Quest, I went in, I looked at it, I said, that's pretty cool, I like that game, I like Arcadia Quest, Arcadia Quest sounds cool, this seems like a good deal for the price, in my opinion, maybe there'll be some stretch goals with it, I will back this game. I backed it. I'm done. Now, I might add some optional buys. They definitely added a ton of optional buys, almost too many. But I might do those, but I made my deal with them. I'm not then going to watch all the stretch goals as they come out and say, I don't know if there's enough. It just seems odd to me that that's the way people think. Because if that's the way you think, then why back it at all? Why not just wait till the last hour of the campaign and decide that you'll back it? Also, optional buys and all that stuff, I don't worry about those anymore because almost you can always grab those when you go through the Pledge Manager or Backer Kit when it's done. Can you make the intro music and the talk in your video be at the same volume? Well, we certainly try. Hi, Tom. Any chance you or anyone from Dice Tower would do a video about the new Quarters Complete Edition? Yeah, sure. I don't think it's out yet, though. When are you doing the reviews for Cerebria? Maybe next week or the week after. How did you manage such a big family? Well, you're not asking how I had a big family. That's a different question. I guess it's stressful, but we've really been blessed, and we have good kids, and I have a fantastic wife. I think that's the key to everything. Sure, some days this was a stressful weekend in various regards, and we certainly miss having Melody around, now down to 6 kids, but What's the longest board game you ever played? Seventh Continent. Just as a quick aside, I feel like I have to say this every single time on these Q&As. I don't work for most of these companies, so please don't ask me, why is this game delayed? Where is this Kickstarter? Why did this company do this? I don't know. Those companies are the perfect people to ask those questions to. Hi, Tom. I've been gaming about 2 years now, amassed over 325 games. Want to do a culling, but where do I even start? Easy. Get rid of the games you don't like. You're like, I like them all. Do you really? The ones that you don't like, get rid of those first. You say, I like them all. Great. Get rid of the games you like. What? I mean, keep the games you love. If you like it, get rid of it. You say, I still don't know. Fine. Have you played a game in the past 2 years? Get rid of that. Yeah, but I might play in the future. No, you won't. A lot of times people keep games around because we might play it at some point. I'm telling you right now, as I'm building this Dice Tower library, and I'm culling my collection like crazy. All right, my collection's down like 100 games, and I'm thinking, I'll probably play those in the Dice Tower library and such, but I'm not going to play them much else outside that. That's okay. I'm okay with this. What are plans for future decorations of the room you're in now? At some point, I'm going to get some more graffiti type artwork that matches this stuff on these other ones. You're getting thirsty, so thirsty. All right, fine. I will drink some water. You don't work for most of these companies, so which one do you work for? I don't work for any company. I work with Arcane Wonders to make Dice Tower Essentials, but that is not a paid position from Arcane Wonders at all. And in fact, when it comes to a lot of the decisions on the games, they make the final decisions on those. I guess I talk to them once in a while, but you will see with my reviews of games, like for example, that Senshi game, I said it was decent, okay at best. If I was working for them, I would have given it a much higher review, right? So, yeah. No other company do I work for. Will you still review La Cosa Nostra at some point for sure? Do you listen to any non-board game related content podcast? I do. My favorite, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's called Business Wars. I really have been enjoying this one. This one they talk about, they had Coke versus Pepsi, eBay versus PayPal, Ford versus Chevrolet, Hearst versus Pulitzer, Nintendo versus Sony, the first computer war, Marvel versus DC, Nike versus Adidas, Netflix versus Blockbuster. That was the first one I heard. That one was really good. I really, really like this show. It talks about these companies, and it will point out the different situations and where they made their mistakes and why one company got cocky and thought they were doing better than the other. It's really intriguing stuff. Which games actually do count for your own collection now, since you have hundreds all the time lying around in office and whatnot? Well, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of games that are hanging around. There's over here on this side of me, there's a bunch of games that are still in shrink wrap. Those are not part of my collection. There's games over there in that corner, which are games I'm reviewing this week. Not in my collection. There's a game sitting here on my table. Not in my personal collection. There's games in the other room that are opened from shrink wrap, but we haven't played yet. Not in my collection. The only ones that are in my collection are on those shelves. You'll see them usually behind Sam and Z and their reviews. That's my collection. And then I have about 50 games at home at my house that are games I play with my kids / and or family, or when people come over to visit. So that's the one that's getting rifled through, the one that's here. Have to disagree on getting rid of some games. Just got to a new group and played like 5 games I haven't touched in a year. Sure, but this is really where it's going to come down to. This always happens. This is the whole hoarder thing, right? You never get rid of something because you might use it. And then you'll say, look, I use something or other, therefore that's why I don't get rid of them. Sure, I get that. But if you go by that philosophy, you will literally keep everything and never get rid of anything. My wife and I disagree on this subject. She would keep a lot more than me, although she's changed dramatically. She gets rid of a lot more stuff than when we first got married. Way more. My wife's not a hoarder by any means, but she'll say, are we sure we should get rid of this? I'm like, yes. We're not going to use it again. She says, we might. I'll say, probably not. And I'm willing to take a few moments of, man, I wish I had kept this, to keep my house and life clear of clutter. Really. I really think it's a big thing. So granted, now the question comes down to how big is the game collection? Because you could be like, well, Tom, you could go down to 10 games and just keep playing those same 10 games. You're right. So you have to make that decision for yourself. I can't decide for you. Like the person mentioned, they have 300 games. I can't decide if that's too many for you. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe 1,000 is too many. I just would wager that most people, when you go to their house and look at their collections, and for good or for bad, most of the game on their shelves they haven't played lately. Especially when you get to 300 games or more, because then you literally have a game a day, right? And most people don't play one game per day. And most people don't play games in their collection as often as they think they do. This is like a philosophy. I talked about this on Board Game Breakfast before, where you think you do things more often than you're not, and you look at a game and go, oh yeah, I played that recently. Yeah, 3 years ago. And then, of course, if you're caught up in the call of the new with new games coming in all the time, then that kind of jams up the pipeworks too. So, you know, I'll tell you what, ever since I started getting rid of games from my collection, yeah, there's been a couple games. There's one game in particular that's in my top 100 that I like a lot more, and I got rid of it, and I wish I had kept it. And now I'm trying to figure out how to get it so I can have it in Dice Tower Library. So I'm going to try to get that game. But for the most part, a lot of games that I've gotten rid of, I realize I haven't missed them. Sure, if I come across them somewhere else, but like, oh, sure, it's fun playing. But the amount of fun I got playing it that one time would not justify the space that it took up in my house. What's your most anticipated game coming out in 2019? Come on now, we're still in 2018. Tom, will you explain the Jack Vass Memorial Fund logo is meant to be a heart with a cross? No, it's a checkerboard. So it's gaming, it's a checkerboard, and then it just has a heart in it. That's all. I really like it. Who do you view as your channel's Eurogame reviewer? Me? And then, of course, every time I say that, people are like, get my fainting couch. Tom, yeah, because I don't necessarily like the 5 bigger, heavy Euro games that people consider you have to like over the course of a year. If you look at all the Euro games that come out over the course of a year, I like most of them. But there's a few that I must like or else I'm not a Euro gamer. Yeah. But if you want that, it's Ryan Metzler probably is your man. Did War Chest stay in your collection? Well, War Chest is actually now in the Dice Tower library. But yes, it would have stayed in my collection, but it made Dice Tower library. Dice Tower doesn't receive financial benefit from Dice Tower Essentials. Sure. Yeah, I get a royalty on it. But that's getting a royalty on something is very different than working for a company. When you decided to do Dice Tower professionally, was there anything about setting up a small business you found surprising, good or bad? I didn't realize, let's see, there's a lot of things. It's easy to set up a small business. It makes tax time like 10 times longer and harder. I was surprised at how much taxes the government throws in when you start paying employees. That's a huge amount of money I did not expect. I am surprised. Nothing. Let me see how to phrase this. People think you're bigger and better than you are. Like a lot of people I meet think because I run my own business that I'm fairly well off. And I'm not. But I don't go around whining that I'm poor all the time either. So people just say, oh, your business is doing really well. Well, it is doing well. Dice Tower is doing well. There's no argument that it's doing well. It's growing and things like that. But it's also not bringing in oodles of cash. And so I guess I struggle with that perception that people have sometimes. But it was a little easier to do the actual setup and all the planning for it. But the administrative side of it really, really wears on me sometimes. Someone's in a Christmas mindset? Yeah, I don't know why I was humming Jingle Bells. How are you going to decorate the shelves once you get rid of so many games? Well, we're working on that. And there's shelves on the side that you don't see, so some games have moved. So if you've seen, let me see, did I record Board Game Breakfast before we moved a lot of games? I think I did. So once you'll start seeing as time goes by, those shelves are going to change. You're going to see a lot of 2-player games in those because those are ones I'm keeping. I'm not really putting 2-player games, big 2-player games in the Dice Tower library because I kind of discourage those at conventions, especially like Dice Tower Retreat. I'm going to highly discourage big 2-player games because we only have so much table space, so we need people to play 4- and 5-player games if possible, not just 2-player games. Are you going to play the new Spider-Man game? Oh, excuse me. On the PS4? I don't think so. I don't have a PS4. What game did you get rid of? Don't tease us. Oh, no, that's a spoiler for when we do our top 100s. I'll mention it then. Do you have advice for someone who's looking to get a historically based resource management and ancient military tactic card game published? I would not describe it to people that way because that sounds super boring. But I'm sure it's not. I'm just saying that sounds so clinical. I don't know, start going to conventions and showing it to publishers. Only 4 months left in 2018. Yes, but Essen is coming in a month and a half. There are 700 games being released at Essen, so we need to talk about those. Or, as I'm going to bang this drum for the longest time, maybe it's okay if we talk about games that are out now. There are so many games out now. There are so many games that you have not played. Anytime someone's like, what game are you looking for in 2019? I'm like, have you played all the games from 2018? No. How many have you played? Like 10? Yeah, there's like another 990 out there. Let's talk about those right now. What did you and your family do for birthday? Not much, actually, but it was just a really busy weekend. But my wife and I managed to sneak down to the Keys yesterday for a meal, so we went there. We may have also bought my New Year's fireworks because they were on sale. So that was fun. My kids gave me some presents. I got a very, very soft blanket, which is exactly what I wanted. I love soft blankets. And they gave me some bath bombs, because I like bath bombs. And they gave me a football speaker, because Brookstone's going out of business, which is sad, because I like the stuff at Brookstone. And they saw me messing with it at the store, and they knew I liked it. It was one of those things I would never buy for myself, but they got it for me. So that was very nice of them. It's like a football that you can throw around, but it's a Bluetooth speaker, so it plays music from it. It's funny. Me and my son were throwing it around this morning. He was laughing because he thought the whole thing was hilarious. Doobadoo-doo, doobadoo, doobadoo-badoo, doobadoo. Can you share with us which companies will be exhibiting at Dice Tower West already? No, not yet. There's a few mentioned on the website that are there for sure. Other companies are working. We just realized that we're able to have more room, and we can now have exhibitors at Dice Tower West. We originally weren't planning on that. Just have some companies there that we're going to be at a table and, demoing some games. Now we have room for companies to have booths and such, so that's going to change some things. Will you guys be doing an auction or market at Dice Tower West like I've heard has been done at Dice Tower Con? We'll be announcing the different events that we'll be running there. I'm going to be talking to the Dice Tower West folks, and we'll be scheduling some different events. Who at Dice Tower has the most personal game collection, and how many? Oh, Jason Levine, that's for sure. When should we expect a review of Horizons? Wednesday. Wednesday that review is going up. When do you start making your Essen lists? Probably October. Because I always wait till I want to wait till the game lists are populated with games anyway. They're not all on the list yet anyway. I like most with the Dice Tower, except when the commentator talk about games. He doesn't have a clue. Guess his name. Tom Vasel. The thing about Brookstone going out of business is I always like going in Brookstone because I like seeing all that cool jazz. I know a lot of it's junk, right? But some of it's pretty neat. I've got some things at Brookstone that I still use. One of my favorite things is I have a little speaker that looks like a jukebox. I like that. And I like this football too, right? But there's some neat things that I've gotten over the years, but it's that as seen on TV type style things. But I would never know these things exist except for Brookstone. This is one of those times where I feel like the internet's not as good. Like I won't buy that junky, weird stuff, that oddball, cool things. I won't buy them off the internet because I won't have seen them and know how cool they are. In Brookstone, I could have walked around and feel them and mess with them and such. It is what it is. I got all the expansion today for Marvel Legendary. Have you a suggestion for a good storage solution? I have all mine in 3 different boxes, so there's a lot of work there. I want to get the card dividers for them, but I actually don't know how to go ahead and print those out and do all that. I'm sure it's on Board Game Geek somewhere, because I've seen some really nice ones where they show you like what's in all the decks and everything. I like that. I just haven't been able to. It seems like it's such a daunting task. If someone points me to it, maybe I'll have to look on Board Game Geek and ask and stuff, but if someone can point me to all those, if I have everything for, I don't have everything for Marvel Legendary, but almost everything. And so if I want to print out the divider cards and all that stuff, where do I start? What do I need? How do I do it? Okay. What differences makes Role Player a game with an excellence grade and Dice Hospital an approval one? Well, I mean, one is an excellent game. I know what you're asking here, but I love Role Player and I really like Dice Hospital. And that's kind of the difference right there, right? One I love. Role Player, they're very different games. They both have dice, but that's it. And there's just so many variations, so many cool things that Role Player allows. And Dice Hospital is a very good game, just doesn't have all the variations and coolness of Role Player. Maybe they'll change as time goes by, but I don't know that there's really like a good comparison between the two. Just I like one a lot more than the other. And remember, Dice Tower Seal of Approval, I want that to mean something. That's the reason why we changed it. There's a lot of games out there I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty good game, but we're not giving Dice Tower Seal of Approval to those anymore. I want it to be very good games are Dice Tower Seal of Approval, and great games are excellence. And I really feel like I'm happy with that branding change. Do you think with enough practice you could do a backflip? Sure. I think with enough practice you could do almost anything. Not anything, because there's a few, there's physical limitations. I'm sure, but I'm not going to practice it. So there you go. Do you own any speakers that also look like speakers? Yeah, I have some, what are they called? Sonos speakers at home. So I listened to a podcast a few years ago, and the person was going over Sonos speakers, and I was excited by the idea of Sonos speakers, so I got them. I'm not sure where I stand on them now. If you've never had a Sonos speaker, they're really good quality speakers. There's no question on the quality of them. And you can have Sonos speakers set up all over your house, and they hook up with your internet, and you can hook your phone and your devices up to them and play things through them. That's awesome in theory. There's a couple major problems I've run into them. First of all, if you're going to use your phone or iPad or whatever to run things, you can only run stuff through your Sonos player. You can't just like play a game on your phone and the sound come out those speakers. You have to run it through Sonos. Now Sonos has Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff runs through it, but not everything. And I found that to be really annoying. I finally found the Sonos 5, a bigger one, which is the one I have in my office at home. And that has an audio port in the back. That's the only one. And even that, I have to go in there and say, okay, Sonos, please read from my audio port. It will read from my audio port, and then I can use that and send that out to the other speakers. So I have surround sound in my room. And that's really cool, and I really like it when it works. But wow, was that a pain to set up. And that's my second biggest problem with Sonos is the pain it is to set things up. You have to hook it up to your wireless. And so if your wireless changes for whatever reason, you have to change it and everything unhooks from each other. You have to reset up the whole shebang again. And then I have to carry, sometimes the speakers won't read the wireless, so I have to carry them over to the wireless, plug them into the router to get them to work. And I just found it to be a pain. I don't know if I'll get more Sonos speakers because of that. It just seems weird to me. The biggest problem I have with them is that I can't just take my computer or my phone, hook up to them, play something, and the sound automatically go to them. That's just weird that I have to run it through the Sonos app. I highly dislike that. So, but they are really great speakers. But I have stopped buying them. I bought like 4. I have a 5 and 3 1s, and the ones are scattered throughout my house. And I do think it's neat. And there is sometimes I will, when I get home, if I can hook up to my speakers from I'll come to the door and I won't walk in. I get close enough to get on the network with my phone, and then I'll blast "The Boys Are Back in Town" and kick the door open or whatever. But that's not worth paying hundreds of dollars for speakers. But it is fun. My wife doesn't find it as amusing. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Merging with established cons seems to be a really good way of growing a Dice Tower event. You're like the Asmodee of cons. No, we have merged with one con, well, I guess Dice Tower Con, but I mean Dice Tower West. We merged with MeepleCon. That is not my goal to take over all the cons, okay? I'm not trying to become the Asmodee of Dice Tower events. What I want to be is a franchise of events to some degree where you say, if I go to a Dice Tower event, I know what I'll get. So far, that has held through. Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower Con, you know that if you go to those, you are going to the friendliest gaming conventions there are with great 24-hour open gaming, so much fun. That is our goal. Both those cons are like that. They're family friendly, lots of fun, my goal. MeepleCon was very much like that. So that was a con that we don't have to change or do anything to. We're making some changes and stuff, but it was very minor, like a lateral step over. So that fits in with the Dice Tower Con set of principles in that regard. So we have to be careful. Dice Tower Retreat, same thing. So if we add more cons as time goes by or start new ones, they need to fit in with that same philosophy. That same philosophy may not be what everybody wants for their cons, but that is what I'm looking at for Dice Tower cons. Brookstone is the Sky Mall brick and mortar store. Yeah, it's true. I never actually bought anything from Sky Mall. I used to go through Sky Mall and mark all the stuff. This is before. Sky Mall, I think, has taken a hit, in my opinion, now that you can use your phones on the plane. You know, it used to be that you couldn't use your electronic devices till you were, 45 minutes? Not 45 minutes, but until you were above 10,000 feet or whatever, so you're sitting there waiting. Now, as soon as I get on the plane, my iPad's out, I'm on my iPad. I don't even look at the Sky Mall catalog unless I need to, but I used to look at it a lot more. And I'd mark down the stuff, but I never actually ever bought anything from Sky Mall because I would sit there and go, do I really need that? Also, it's expensive. Thanks, John. What's the most unlikely place you've been recognized for being on the Dice Tower? Maybe college. When I dropped Melody off, a few people came up and said hi to me there. I have a 50-person regular con of Huddersfield saying we're Dice Tower ready. Oh, sure. Huddersfield was in our top 10,000 places we were. That's under our consideration. What are you drinking? Just water. With a little bit of flavoring, but it is just water. What happened with Tower Talk with Z and Mark? Wasn't as an unlocked stretch goal from your Kickstarter campaign? Yes, I'm still planning for that to happen. It just hasn't happened yet. Do you like having ambient background music when you're gaming, or do you find that distracting? No, I like ambient background music a lot. I have not seen the pre-painted miniatures for Cerebra, but I'm sure they're very nice. Top 10 suggesting games we hate that we like them. I don't actually understand what that means. It seemed like you were really excited to play Cerebria a few weeks ago, but it's tapered off since. I was very excited to play it. My review of it will be coming out in a few weeks or so. No, I've not played or done anything with Thornwatch yet, sorry. Is Cosmic Encounter a lighter Twilight Imperium? No, they're nothing alike. Nothing. They both have space. That is the extent of their similarities. I'm going to Dice Tower Con. Not only was this my first con, but I'm going solo. Any suggestions? Yeah, just have fun. I keep thinking about making a con thing, but just go have fun. Look for some people that say looking for players and join them for a game. And if you like playing games with them, then keep playing games with them. Or go look for another looking for gamers thing. That's what I would do all the time there. Man, I get so many questions about Starcadia Quest. I haven't played it. I don't know anything else. It just looks cool. That's it. I'm not comparing it to Arcadia Quest. I know nothing. Please let me play it. I know nothing about it. Sam said it's fun. That's my extent of my knowledge. What's my favorite Indian food dish? Oh, I got this baked cheese at a restaurant one time that I really liked. I forget what it's called, but it was just delicious. How does the Dice Tower crew deal with having different level of fame? You mean all the groupies and drugs and all that stuff that we go to conventions and there's no, I mean, there's fame at conventions and people certainly come by and say hi to us for sure. That's very nice, but it's not. I don't walk around and I think we'll be fine. We won't be getting big heads anytime soon. How's that? Are you still posting in the review this week for the game you expected to like but didn't? Indeed, I'm about to review that one soon. Yeah, that still saddens me. I'm looking at it right now. It has a Y in the title. Okay. All right. Do you have a favorite house in Keyforge yet? Yes, the Mars one. How many decks have you played? Like 7, maybe? What are your thoughts on spinners? They seem fun. Do all your kids have cell phones? Remember me earlier talking about how I'm not rich? Would you consider having a panel at Dice.com on the best equipment and workflows for reviewing? Well, probably not. I did one at, I talked at Gen Con, and Gen Con has 60,000 people, and I would say, 20 people came to hear me talk about how to be successful in board game media, and that's fine. I want to talk about that stuff. I wouldn't talk about Dice Tower Con. I'd get like 3 people. Why is it games always take longer than the suggested time in a box? The times listed seem like they're only achieved after many, many plays. For sure. They put a time on the box. This is how long the game takes. And they do that because if it's a longer time, more people won't buy it. So they go by, this is the optimal time to play the game, this is how long it takes once you know what you're doing. That's just how it works. But we're going to call them liars when it's not true. Or fibbers, because liar seems awfully mean. When's the last time you played Hearthstone? It's been a while since I played Hearthstone. I need to get around to playing that again. I kind of go on and off different games. I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles on the Switch mostly for my gaming. And on my iPad, I haven't really been playing many games lately. I've just been reading Marvel comics or books. My current book I'm reading through is a new one. I just started it called The Lies of Locke Lamora. Sounded interesting so far. Interesting. Has a very Oliver Twist vibe to it at the beginning, so we'll see if that continues as it goes by. I thought you already had a big head. Thank you. Like in music, do you have a favorite decade in the theme of games? I don't know what that means. A favorite decade in the theming? Are games themed around a decade? I think games are themed around centuries, maybe? I'm not sure what that means. Do you have a favorite decade in music? No, not really. I like music whether it's new or old. Who gave you the Super Dad mug? My kids did. That'd be weird if someone else had given it to me. You know what it was? I had a big pink and purple mug that I bought. I bought it. I was like, hey, at the Dice Tower headquarters, no one else would use this, so I'm going to buy it because I think it's funny. And my kids are like, that's stupid. We're buying you a proper one. So they got me this one. Hope the game you didn't like was a new edition of Yggdrasil. I've not played the new edition of Yggdrasil, so it's not that one. Maybe Y and Y. I've already reviewed Y and Y. What are you reading for pleasure in your spare time? Oh, I just answered that. I'm going to read a biography of William Wilberforce, says Jesse. Cool. If you were in the Kennerspiel jury, who would you have voted for? Quacksalber, Ganz schön Clever, or Heaven and Ale? I don't know because I haven't played Quacksalber, but I would pick that one because the other two seemed like mediocre picks for the year. There's so many other great games. I was surprised about those picks. Are you getting the nice Orleans tokens from the BGG store? Sort of way to deluxify the game. Well, no, because my game's already deluxified. I already have the deluxified version, so no. But I did get the ones for Seasons. They were really cool. I really like those tokens. I like stuff like that. I would have got the Race for the Galaxy ones, but those were out of stock already. Let me look. Was there something else that they had that... I bet you Board Game Geek is still down. Site maintenance, but the Board Game Geek store is still there. So that's fine, I guess. Oh, the Race for the Galaxies tokens are back up. Oh, interesting. Well, that's nice. Well, maybe I'll get a couple of those for my Race for the Galaxy, Roll for the Galaxy, and Jump Drive, because I use it for all those. They also have some for Antiquity, but that's not as exciting, I think. Well, that's neat. Like I said, the ones for Seasons, they look really fantastic. I'm really excited about this. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me. I don't think it's just me. I think there's a lot of people. We get so excited when when you play a game and all the bits are cool and upgraded and exciting. And I'm just having a great time. We just bought... We bought 250 boxes, plastic boxes from Walmart. There's these crayon boxes that they've been selling them. I showed them off. I don't have any right here. They're all stacked out in the kitchen for now. But I bought some when I was out helping Melody do some college shopping, and I saw them. They were like 75 cents, and I was like, well, these look great. So I bought like 20 of them to see if they would fit. They're made for crayons, but they can fit a deck of cards or fit other components, and they are amazing. I love them. So in our area, they went on sale for 25 cents. They're clearing them out. So we went and bought the whole store out practically. Kenny is amazing at that sort of thing. So I will be loading those up in games. I love that sort of thing. How are you preparing for retirement? I don't plan to retire. Ever. No joke on that. I don't plan to retire. Lies of Locke Lamore is a good book. Whew. Well, then I'm glad that some people are saying that. No Grand Con this year? Well, Eric and Mandy will be at Grand Con. And maybe maybe you'll see that with other cons next year, with Origins and such. You'll see some people show up for those, a few people and stuff over the year. But I just can't promise that, that's all. But the author writes almost as quickly as George R. R. Martin? Oh, no! Don't tell me that. Did you forget about Warsaw City of Ruin when you made your top 10 drafting games list? Yeah, that's true. Maybe I just forgot about that one. That might have made the top 10. That happens sometimes. I really try hard to get every game. And I thought about this. I thought, the only way this would work is if when I got games, I made my own database. I go by Board Game Geek's database, which isn't always the best. But make my own database and say, this would fit in this category. This would fit in this category. What type of fantasy do you prefer, dark or more cartoony? Well, if those are the only two options you're giving me, I'll go with cartoony. How much communication do you use when playing the mind? We just put by a lot of facial expressions, I guess, is what we allow. So when we're playing the mind, we've had, like Jason one time pulled his card back and stuck it behind him. And then the other person sat on their card. Then Jason took his and went and put it on the shelf so far away to show that it was, that's silliness. I feel like that kind of communication is fine. I just bought a ton of those crayons, separated a bunch of my games. Yeah, they're fantastic. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are getting those. And they're on sale right now, which is really cool. Kenny said, well, let's wait till they go down to 10 cents. I was like, 25 cents seems really good deal. 4 for a buck. They're really fantastic. I need to buy a new pillow. I'd get one of those memory foam ones. I have one. They're fantastic. Did you like the Clue movie? Yeah, I like the Clue movie a lot. One reason some people play games is for the sense pleasure in them. Yeah, I agree. I don't know that it always needs to be there, and obviously sometimes components can get in the way of the game, but I love having extra pieces for games. It's fantastic and tremendous. So I just get excited about that sort of thing. Well, folks, I think that's it for today. There's some more questions. Obviously, I'll be back here next week. Next week, I won't be doing it on Monday or Tuesday, so the Q&A will be at another point next week. And then when we get back, it's kind of a straight shot till Essen. So we'll start talking about Essen, just not yet, because I'm still talking about Gen Con, and there's still a lot of fantastic games over here. Look, the Root expansion, I need to play that. Ooh, Master of the Galaxy, I need to play that. Get Packing, that's something I need to do for Iceland. Hey, for all those of you in the Carolinas, stay safe. Hurricane heading your way, so we're thinking about you guys there, and also for those in Guam. So there's things like that. So that's it for today. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. Thanks so much for watching Live Q&A on the Dice Tower. Welcome to the Dice Roll-Off. Over here we have the pink and blue ice cream team, as they're called, going up against the Horde of Pinks. Now, right now, all the money is on the Horde, even though they're all six-sided dice. Over here, we have, all different sided dice, and it's actually very confusing as to what they are. So we're going to start the preliminary rolls off. But let's see, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23. There's the first batch. Then we have another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 3 can't come in. So there's 3 times the number of dice. This is an insanely unbalanced thing. Let's see what happens. First of all, we're going to test to see if some of these dice even fit through. That one fits through if it's pushed through. So does that one. The judges are ruling that they can be pushed through. So we're going to start with the big one here. 24 to 1. All right, so that's one of these guys is dead. Next one. 6 to 1. All right, well, that's actually a pretty good start here for both of them. 3 to 1. That's 3 ones in a row. Maybe the Horde is not as invincible. 6 to 4. They haven't won one yet. Usually the Hordes win these, we've found as time has gone by. 14 to 2? Huh. Well, there you go. 3 to 1. Oh, this is a bad loss here for the ice cream team. This was a 24-sided die. Oh, well. Can't have everything. 6 to 8. Oh, that was close for sure. 3 to 2. Another victory here. This time they took out a 13-sided die. 4 to 4. That kills both of them. An 18-sided die is out now. Ice cream team isn't happy. A 2 to 1. This is another. The 16-sided die has been eliminated. That's 4 of the ice cream dice that have been eliminated, and that's not really a good 21 to 2. It's not really a good way to start off the thing. 4 to 4. All right, well, they've eliminated a 5-sided die, which makes sense because you should, a 6 should beat a 5. 5 to 3. Here's the only 6-sided die for the ice cream team, but it rolled a 6 to a 1. So the 6-sided is still in the mix. The judges have ruled that the 100-sided die is only a 10-sided die. So 5 beats a 1. That's another one of the ice cream dies that's been eliminated. 6 to 5. The 11-sided die is out now. That's not looking too good. 4 to 1. 6 to 2. All right, so things are looking a little better here. For 3 to 1. A lot of 1s have been being rolled by the Horde. 7 to 2. This one's not going to probably end up well for the ice cream team since it's a 3-sided die that has rolled a 3, but the 5 beats it out. Oh well, 3-sided die never really had much of a chance anyway. 17-3, and finally 6-1. All right, so the first 23 matches, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. 8 of them were lost by the ice cream team. Right, well, there was a couple ties. So only 6 of the horde has survived, but we still have all the rest of this horde that hasn't yet been gone through. The horde hasn't even gone through one time. 17-4. So let's see if we can. 6-2. The horde is being trounced a bit at a time here. That's a 5 and that's a 4. The 10-sided die is now out of the mix. And another one of the hordes. Calm down, folks. A little disgusted by these demonstrations here. All right, 8-3. 19-4. The ice cream team's doing a little bit better through this one. 6-4. Oh, another one has been eliminated. This is the 6-sided, a 7-sided die. Well, I guess if someone's going to lose to 6-sided, a 1 and a 1. Well, there goes the only 6-sided die of the ice cream team. 7-3. So they're winning on that regard. 13-6. 20-4. 6-5. That was a close one, but it managed to stick around. 4-3. All right, the horde is definitely being lost. Horde is going to roll the 30-sided. 12-3. 7-2. All right, looking better. 9-2. All right, so the ice cream team is now down to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That was not a bad run. If they can continue this, they'll do well. And if the horde keeps rolling 12-1, keeps rolling ones like that, 11-1. That is an inordinate amount of ones that's been being rolled here. 13-1. What are the chance of rolling that many ones in a row? Another one, 4-1. That is 4 ones in a row. That is some pretty weird odds. There they rolled a 6, but the 30-sided pulled off an 8. So the horde is having a really bad string of luck here. 11-5. We'll see what happens. 6-5. The ice cream team is like really putting forth their effort here. Uh-oh, 6-3. We've had another elimination. This is another 14-sided die that is out. That was a tough loss. 6-2. That's 2 losses in a row. The 12-sided die is now out. 7-2. Okay, the horde is still in the mix. 7-4. And 13-3. All right, we're just going to get back in the mix here and keep going because the horde is still around. 15-3. The horde is getting trounced there. There's the 30-sided, which rolled a 2 to a 1. The 30-sided has been eliminated. That's a tremendously bad blow for the team. 13-4. The ice cream team, because the 30-sided is kind of ace in a hole. Here's a 6 to a 3. Now the 14 to 17-sided die has been eliminated. 3-1 though. Interestingly enough, the 4-sided die is still in the mix. 3-4. There goes the 8-sided die. 11-4. 18-6. Yeah, you can't do much when the other side rolls an 18, that's for sure. 9-3. And 5-6. Oh, not a very good thing here. The 26-sided die is out. Okay, the ice cream team is now down to 6 people. Not looking too good here. 20-6. But they are still doing their best to eliminate the horde as well as they can. 6-2. 4-sided die is out. The ice cream team gives him a standing ovation because no one expected him to make it that far. A 4-sided. 11 to 5. 24 to 5. 1 to 1. Up. The 9-sided die has now been eliminated. We're down to 4 dice left. Let's see if these 4 dice can pull it off. 19 to 1. 3 to 2. Whew. That was a close call for the 15-sided die. 9 to 4. All right. There are now 4 ice cream members left. And of the horde, there are 8, 12, 14 of them. 14 to 4. This is going to be very interesting. Here we go. We're going to start with our 15-sided die, looks like, which rolls a 2 against a 5. That's a horrific start. The 20-sided die beats it 17 to 1. That's 1 for 1, but the horde, oh well, let's see what happens here. 19 to 6. And the 25s, oh wait, what does this say? 28-sided die. 6 to 1. Oh no. This could be the end of it, folks. We're down to the 20-sided die and a 22-sided dice against 10 horde dice. So here we go. 10 dice. Da, 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 da. 10 to 2. It is now. Oh wait, I'm sorry. It was. There are 12 dice against 7 to 3. Okay, now it's down to 10. 10 to 2. 9 to 2. Oh! The 24-sided die has been eliminated. It is now 9 to 1. Can the 20-sided, this is the 20-sided die. All those weird dice that come in the ice cream team, the tried and true 20 is left. He has to beat 9 6-sided dice. This would be an amazing thing. It's probably going to, the horde is not yet, 17 to 5. He's eliminated 1. Whoop. 8 to 6. He's eliminated 2. We're down to 7 dice. 16 to 5. We're down to 6 dice. The crowd is hushed in tones. 17 to 5. That the 20-sided continues to roll high. 5 to 2. Whoo, that was close. 4 dice left. Will the 20-sider pull it off? No! He rolled a 1, and the 6-sided beats it. And so the ice cream team goes down in defeat with only 4 dice left from the horde. That is an insane thing. That's crazy. The horde is, everyone is cheering. Oh.